since you guys are obviously voicing these characters, in my opinion, it's still the exact same thing as acting, but we're not seeing you physically on screen. I'm curious, during the action scenes and the fighting scenes, what sound effects do you have to make if you're punching somebody, hitting somebody, getting hit? Do you find yourself like just doing actual sounds of being hit?
Yes, because I've been doing it for so many years. I just standing up, just you know, do exactly the action sequence and yelling, and you can ask the director. I'm from the film never stop. I doing the whole thing, the whole take, in one take. Wow. And sometimes I'm helping some other people. The worst things, when I see the high jump, then I said stop, because the cartoon high jump forever. You have to yell, ah! They're still jumping. You're not like real life.
There are specific days though when you're doing an animated movie where it's just for effort noises. So you're in there for 2 hours just
Yeah.
That's awesome. But back when you made like the action films, I can't wait for Foreigner. I'm very excited about that. Did you have to ADR those sounds? Did you have to go into ADR and like do that?
Some other people use some other people dub. And every movie I have to dub by myself. Sometimes I hate the dubbing. Hey-ya, ha, hey-ya, ha. No, they're wrong. And sometimes they miss the punch. And even in the old day, we have to do the sound effect myself, because in the back, boom, boom. Actually, it's a dun-dun-dun. And if you're dun-dun, dun-dun, it's no good. Dun-dun, dun-dun, dun-dun. You have the dun-dun, dun-dun, dun. So we have the dub like hop, hop, and we jump in like this. We have to do these kind of things. I'm glad when I was young, learned so many things. I was in the dubbing room. I'm helping people doing the sound, chair, door opening, and the sound. So this is why I learned so many things behind the business.
So cool. 2 more quick questions for you. This is a fast one.
No, only for me. Don't worry.
No. If you could see any of your previous characters in Lego form besides this movie, which one would you want to see?
Let's go with the 21 Jump Street character.
Taco Bell. Yeah, dude, that movie is one of the greatest movies of all time.
Lego drug dealer.
I'm all in. Because those scenes were animated. Some of the scenes were animated anyways when they were on the drugs.
Right.
Phil Lord and Chris Miller are geniuses.
They are.
I've been wanting to ask you this question for so long because I've been following your work since I was a kid. I'm Rumble in the Bronx, Super Cop, as I mentioned. Is there one particular stunt you did in your career that you look back on and go, I cannot believe I actually did that? Is there one that you look back on as a favorite stunt of yours?
Police story, jump from the Chantalite.
Why?
It's long story. You just don't know what happened in that day, because all the battery cannot light up the whole light. We have to use the real battery from the building. I might get shot, but I have to shoot. And the lighting guy said, if any happen, I will shoot off. I said, it's too late. If I get shot, and it's just like a suicide. So this is why before I jump, you can see the film. Ah! I was dying. I said, just die. Because I have 15 camera. Whoa. 15 camera, and that time, you know, 45, 120, you can rolling, you can see the speed. And we only have a 400 feet. Not like American, they have 1,000 feet magazine. We only have 400 feet. If I'm not gonna jump, gone. Then I jump. Then I survive. Then after survival, I hit the 600 extra and the actress and everybody crying. I was there the whole night. Every time I get up, I go down. I get up, then I tell Jackie, I can do it. Jackie, I can do it. Wow. It's just like a suicide.
That's amazing. Thank you for telling me that. It's an honor to talk to both of you guys. Well, I want to ask you about Lloyd, because to me, when I first heard that, maybe the first like 10, 15 times, I was like dying laughing, because it was just a beautiful line. Talk about like saying that. Did you find yourself cracking up at first?
Well, it cracked. Don't let him take credit for that. don't let. I mean, you take credit because you did it.
Well, I did it.
But
I
it's
created it. It came out
here's
of my
the-
own
here-
brainicle. So.
Yes, it's because Justin Theroux cannot read. He never learned to
not
read.
a strong reader.
Did you know
I
this?
can read. I'm just not
Did
a
you know this?
strong
I
reader.
did not know this. He's never told me this before.
Well,
what
tell- it's the
happened
truth.
was that it was my first day on the thing, and I was reading the script, kind of cold, and then I went like well, Lloyd, and I just slipped over the word.
Oh, you really did this?
Literally.
That's how we came
'cause
up with
it just kind of
Lloyd.
looked weird on the page. It
And
just
our
had 2 L's and OID.
And our director started dying laughing. He's
And I
like,
died
wait, what is?
laughing.
Hold on.
And they were like, "That's hilarious. Let's just keep calling him Lloyd."
Is that amazing?
Are you being serious?
Totally.
That's
Because Lloyd
phenomenal.
is hilarious.
Yeah.
And I'm with you. Whenever I would hear the playback, when I'd be recording, I'd hear him do that. I was like, that's genius. And no one ever told me until we started doing press and stuff. And then I heard Just talking, and I'm like, that is because it's the funniest thing.
I know.
So then they added Franco's line in that says like it's actually Lloyd just because Franco responds to it at one
he's
point.
like, "My name's Lloyd," and I was like, "No, I named you." Like,
There you
this
go.
is so-
But this, by the way, this is what's so great is like Garmadon has this like Garmadon is dumb and confident, and you're very smart. But it's funny how you like even you're like, yeah, I didn't know how to read, and you're so proud of yourself. Like, even during the scene, you can see how proud he is.
I
that
know.
Yeah.
He never
I'm
learned
a
to read.
terrible reader.
I do want to talk to you because there's an interesting element in the trailer. So in the movie, your character's the one who explains the backstory between your relationship. In the trailer, your character explains it to Dave Franco. And I was curious, was that something you recorded specifically for the trailer? Or did you actually, was that initially in the script that you were going to explain it, not Garmadon?
No, I didn't. I actually didn't know that. I haven't seen the movie yet, and I didn't know. I don't. You know, they just throw things out. I'm guessing that there was test audience that said that Justin's voice was scary. In mine.
I don't know. We make the voices. We don't make the movie.
No, there's a lot of times where we're saying things and it's
We're
like.
not bright people.
No, I didn't know that. No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know that.
I think that they probably made a decision to just, or like wherever we were.
Or maybe it's
'cause
a
there's
mo-
a whole
maybe
thing in the house
maybe
that
mothers
happens.
bring their maybe it's a whole like mothers bring their kids to things
I'll
more so
tell
that
you
they
what
wanted
happened
to.
is that
Oh, you know.
I thought they were really ignoring the storyline that, there's obviously she's amazing as Coco's
You
an
take
amazing
away my
character.
lines from you. You pitched a way to
she's-
take
hang
my
on.
Yeah,
line.
you stole her. That's what I'm trying to get at. You
she
stole her lines.
plays an amazing woman who a single mother who raises Lloyd.
Lloyd.
It's Lloyd, there's another story that's not told, and it's a theme that I hope gets picked up
Stop.
throughout
Nobody listen.
the movie, which is that
DC, don't turn it off.
Garmadon was abandoned by his wife
That
and child.
is the stupidest thing. Garmadon was not. Garmadon is an evil warlord.
He's an abandoned father.
And you can't raise
he's
a
the victim
child.
in this situation.
See what I mean? He
I
thinks.
felt that same
Yeah,
way.
I know.
What?
No, I
glad that
actually
came
felt
through.
bad for him at times.
Yes, of course, as you should.
He
made
tries
some
to
poor
destroy
choices,
the
all
city
right?
that his ex-wife and child live in on a weekly basis.
True. I still felt bad for him.
Well, that's just because he's just so likable. He's a likable. It's because he's dumb and confident, and that's
it's
just.
the eight-pack abs. That's
know.
what it all
It
comes
is.
back
That's
to.
all it comes
That's what
back
it all
to.
comes back to.
Right there.
Yeah. Well, first of all, congratulations to you both. I think, I guess on a serious note, that one of the things about this film that I love was the self-discovery element of it, and I
Yes.
think that finding what you can do and pushing yourself to a certain limit. I'm curious, whether it be this role or any role we've played in your career, what's the craziest thing you found out about yourself from a performance you've done?
Oh wow, that's a good
great question. Wow.
I found that when I've played a role where it's a person who's sensitive, I become more sensitive in my real life, and I start like crying more at movies. It's so
Really?
strange. Yeah, like if I play a part where I have to like be sad or cry, then I sort of feel like that all the time.
Yeah, or if you're playing like a character who's really loving, then
Yeah.
during that period of your life when you're playing that character, you feel like a better version of yourself, a more generous version of who you actually are.
Yeah, you realize that these lines like are quite blurry. Like if we're acting in a scene where I'm supposed to be agitated, I'm kind of agitated all day.
Often, if you're often on Silicon Valley, if someone's doing a scene where they have to be sad, at the end of the scene they'll be like, I just feel like this isn't going well.
Yeah.
Like, they'll feel like their
They're just
performance
sad.
is bad. Also, just unrelatedly, I feel like I'm being interviewed by myself.
Really?
Yes, I feel like we're basically two versions.
Oh,
Put the
yeah,
glasses
you
on,
did
man.
like that,
Yeah,
totally.
there you go.
Okay, yeah.
Kevin. So let me ask you, the parts that you've played, what have you learned about yourself? Right, and you were interchangeable.
That's really good. You look. That's good.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Thank you,
that's
sir.
amazing.
Thank you for saying that. I'll take that. My wife loves the show, so she loves your
Oh,
character.
good. Thanks.
I do want to ask you. There's a line in the film where you joke about your mom collecting seashells, and you make a joke about like the fact that like his mom is like, or his dad is this horrible villain. I'm curious. A family member in your family, you don't have to name names, has the craziest quirk. What's the craziest quirk you've seen in your family?
Wow. My grandfather used to mix all his food together. So if he got like, 3 different things, he would put them on a plate and mix it all together. And it would just be this mush, and then he would eat it with a spoon. And I never understood that.
My grandmother used to stare into the sun, and we'd be like, Grandma, don't do that. And she'd be like, if God didn't want you to look at the sun, he wouldn't have made it so pretty. But then she lost her sight. No, that's
I
not
don't know
true,
why I'm
but
laughing.
she easily could have.
She
It's
did
very
stare
dangerous.
into the sun?
She'd be like, I'm going to look at the sun. What's the problem?
there.
I feel like it's got to stop, Grandma.
I've spoken to you a couple times via Twitter about The Big Sick. I think it's an absolute masterpiece. I'm just curious, sitting here now after the film's been so successful, what does that feel like to have that story out there, the people you're relating to? I mean, I related to it so much from
thank
different
you.
versions of it, but what are you feeling from the audiences?
I mean, that's it's something so personal, and it's been really, really gratifying to have people connect to it, because if they don't, that's a pretty big matzo ball out there. But it's been beyond my wildest expectations. It's been really, really awesome, and I'm glad. I feel more than anything, I feel a sense of relief.
Real fast, a Lego version of Silicon Valley, what would that look like?
It'd be a total matzo ball.
It'd be a total matzo ball.
Yeah, well, guys, thank you so much, man. Pleasure
Thank
meeting you guys.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
for the
you.